What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. I was supposed to make a video on this Monday, but I got caught up, so I do apologize. But opening statement started today in the trial of this guy right here, Shawn Grayson, for the murder of this young lady right here. May she rest in peace. And her name is Sonya Massey. This is the lady that called the police out there in Illinois last year. I think it was in the summertime. And she was having mental problems, which anybody could see something was not right with her, saying that an intruder was around her house. And this deputy and another deputy was there. And this guy, Shawn Grayson, who was going to trial today for the murder of Sonya Massey, shot her in the face. And it caused all kind of controversy. It's a damn shame how it happened. You know, a lot of people were saying she threw the water. She grabbed the pot of water and was going to throw it on them. Listen, let me start by saying this. This guy's in court. And they set it up to where his background and all the stuff that he did before this, leading up to this moment where Miss Massey died, you know, has been taken away and can't be used against him in the court. You know, like his bad habits and stuff like that. So this is what they have out right now. I want you to listen closely to this. Some people should not be police officers. And this guy right here is one of them. Take a look at what they got so far.
Testimony is underway in the first-degree murder trial of a former Illinois deputy accused of killing a black woman in her home. And a warning, some of what we're about to show you is disturbing. Shawn Grayson was captured on body cam video last summer shooting Sonya Massey after she picked up a pot of boiling water from her stove. It happened after she called 911 about a potential prowler. Grayson has pleaded not guilty, claiming he feared for his life and that he acted in self-defense. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa is outside the courtroom in Peoria, Illinois today. Maggie's been following this from the beginning. You were there for the opening statements, right, Maggie, and the start of testimony has already begun. Walk us through what you've heard so far.
Yeah, Vicki, we'll start with those opening statements. The prosecution really came out swinging, walking jurors almost frame by frame, but definitely scene by scene through that body camera video, which, again, we'll warn our viewers is disturbing, but it's clearly going to be core to this case. And they talked about how when Grayson showed up to Sonya Massey's home, they said in her words, their words, she was a bit scattered, and that frustration seemed to grow throughout the interaction. And then when it comes to the point where the shooting happened, they said she was still holding the pot of boiling water, but they argued she was not a threat to him. And they said, quote, to the jurors, you'll see what happens when the defendant gets mad at a woman standing in her own kitchen who had called for help. So they say he wasn't fearing for his life, but he was angry at her. The defense hitting back, first kind of cautioning jurors on the problems in a case like this of forming opinions too quickly, and then saying that he absolutely feared for his life, feared for his safety, saying that pot of boiling water was a weapon, and also pointing to one moment in the video kind of toward the beginning when Massey said, please don't hurt me. And Grayson said, why would we hurt you? You called us, saying that was his intent going into this, was to help her. So it's already going back and forth. They have an Illinois State police investigator. That was their first witness, having him walk through the investigation. So that's what's going on inside. Really quickly, guys, I want to show you the scene outside. This is a big deal for the city of Peoria. They've closed off several streets around the courthouse. This truck is here to block this street. They're trying to keep potential protests at bay, which have been small today, guys, but promised really throughout the entirety of this case.
You know, Maggie, today the judge also made some key rulings, we understand, including one that was tied to Grayson's misconduct at previous jobs that you've reported. Right. What's going to happen? Will prosecutors be able to bring that up?
A lot of it, no, they won't be able to. The judge has already ruled that specific allegations of misconduct that NBC confirmed through personnel records kind of early on, shortly after this shooting happened. Logan County, another county in Illinois where he was accused of multiple things, including misconduct toward a woman who was a civilian when he responded to a call, and another issue with an unlawful pursuit, that he was basically driving too fast when he was pursuing another car. Those will not be allowed in, nor will his alcohol use issues in the Army. So they really want to try and keep it to what happened during this shooting. And watching, again, that body camera video will likely be a key point here, Vicki.
Opening statements are getting underway for the trial of former sheriff's deputy accused of killing Sonya Massey. Shawn Grayson is facing first-degree murder charges in connection with the July 2024 shooting when Massey called 911 to report a possible intruder at her home. Now a jury made up of 9 white women, 2 black men, and 2 white men will ultimately decide Grayson's fate. ABC legal contributor and trial attorney Brian Buckmeyer is here with what to expect. So, Brian, what are you watching for in opening statements today?
So whenever you have a case like this where you know the defense is more likely than not going to be self-defense, I'm looking to see how the defense portrays this in their opening statements. Are they going to either explicitly or implicitly let us know that Shawn Grayson is going to testify? And if they are going to preview that, what are they going to tell us to expect from his testimony? I would expect the prosecution to lay out just the facts and how they think that the investigation and the video is going to portray this case. The defense and whether or not Grayson testifies, I think, is big.
Sonya Massey was a black woman. Shawn Grayson is a white man. How do you expect race or maybe even gender to play into this?
So for me, I think this is more about the claim of self-defense from the defendant than race at all. And I think when it comes to gender, at least as a defense attorney, I find that I want men on my jury as a defense attorney. And I know this is a broad brush, but stereotypically speaking, we find as defense attorneys that men are more accustomed or likely to find that violence or force is an okay use for a solution, where women will ask more questions. And if I'm a defense attorney, I don't want you asking questions of me. I just want you to say, hey, he was scared, he shot, that's it, are we okay? So there being so many women on this case, I think for the prosecution, that may benefit them.
And Brian, what are you watching for in terms of how they make these arguments, and how important is it when you're trying to lay that first impression foundation?
I think we're going to see what the perspective of those officers were. We're probably going to see, and I say, don't forget, the body cam video that we actually see is not Grayson's body cam video, it's actually his partner's. So I want to see what his partner says, which I expect to be a witness for the prosecution, as to what they believe, because that officer did pull out their gun as well. So they must have felt something or whatever it may be. And I want to see how they try to portray the environment within that. Also, I don't think these officers know what the word rebuke means, because everything seems to be very calm and cool until that word comes out, and then guns are drawn and you see Massey cowering behind the counter. What they saw behind the counter will be a big issue here. We don't see that very much in the video, and how they portray that, I think, is a big point in this case.
Okay, guys, that's it. Opening statements. They're going through that first day of the trial today. And they playing that video in its full entirety, and they playing it frame by frame and showing how much of an idiot this guy is. I'm gonna be honest with you. You take the race out of this for a second, right? Just hear me out. Some of y'all, they get all butthurt and shit. Just listen. This guy right here is an idiot, and he's lying to save his ass. And I'm gonna tell you why. Sonya Massey was little as hell compared to the size of this man. How the fuck were you fearful when you the one that had the gun? And then when you pulled the fucking gun out, she was scared as shit, like, oh. Before it even got to the pulling the guns out, you had enough distance to where if she did throw this water, your dumb ass could have moved. What you think about that? She said, oh, I just want to turn my pot off. And then she said, I rebuke you. Just like the defense lawyer said, and I believe this, they didn't know what rebuke meant. Well, Grayson, namely, he don't look like the religious type. You know what I'm saying? Guy was in the military, getting in trouble as a police officer, bunch of stupid stuff, getting fired and then rehired at other agencies and stuff like that. Should have never been a cop. I don't even think he paid attention to when she said the word rebuke. I don't even think he paid attention. He just saw the thing. But my thing is this. When you pulled the gun out, you didn't have to shoot her in the face. You had that gun aimed. You didn't have to shoot her in the face. You know what I'm saying? Some people say he could have tasered her. I don't know if a taser reaches that long. But either way, if she was going to throw that water, she is not no world-class powerlifting type athlete to where she throw it so fast you can't react. And there's 2 of y'all there. 2 guns on a woman that already ducked and stuff to say she's scared. She said she was scared. She said, don't hurt me, like they said in the thing. They were like, yo, you called us? What are you talking about? When she was sitting down trying to find her ID, you could tell something was wrong with her. I think this could have been de-escalated better. And I honestly believe that this shit falls on him. It does. It does. And in my opinion, the other officer, I think he was a subordinate, like he wasn't in charge. Grayson was in charge. Because Grayson pulled the gun first, and then the other deputy pulled his, but he got behind the thing. He going off the energy off of him. And it wound up that this guy pulled the trigger where the other deputy didn't. Then he told me, go get the sergeant. It's just a one big mess. But something should happen to him. You shot somebody that called you for help, right? Now that happened sometime, but in this instance, she did not deserve to be shot. You know what I'm saying? She didn't attempt to, she wasn't like, I'm going to throw the water on you. What was you in fear of? And that's that bullshit. Oh, I was in fear. You wasn't in fear of getting fired when you did all that other shit with the car and running through the stoplight, not listening. You wasn't fearful of that. You was immature, just like you was in this situation right here. You think about it. Everywhere this guy went, he got in trouble for just performing regular job duties. And he wears a badge, and you leave him up to a life or death decision, judgment call, when he got poor judgment in the first place. Shouldn't even have a badge on. He's a fucking disgrace. And she should still be alive. I'm going to leave it at that. Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me say this. This just hit me. I wonder if this would get as much publicity as it's getting now if Grayson was black and Massey was white. I'm just interested. I'm just curious about that. Because I'm going to be honest with you. This whole damn thing is bullshit. And it comes down to not black and white, in my opinion. It comes down to poor judgment and a failure to de-escalate. And he's guilty of both of them. See you in the next video. Take care.